Well,
No, you have
hello.
no head.
Yes, I know. It's apropos. Have no head. How's it going, gal? JT,
Hello, how are you?
good, good to have you on again.
Yeah. I'm excited about this topic. So good to see you.
Good to see you. Teresa, hello.
Yeah. Hey, hello there. How are you this evening, even though you are without your head?
Yes,
Well, it's next to him. It's not
Oh, that's
without.
true. He says
the horseman
ventriloquist.
didn't get it. I kept hold of my head.
I like how you have a couch in space or a chair in space.
Yes, a chair in space, just floating.
It has the elusive man kind of vibes from Mass Effects. So
Yeah,
good job.
thanks.
If you know what I'm talking about.
That's the chair and lower half is from The Godfather. And
Yes,
the
it
head
is.
is from 300.
Where'd you get the severed neck?
I just found that. I looked for it.
There's severed heads just laying around.
Yeah.
Uh,
Matt's in the chat. Hello, Matt.
hey,
And
The chat
Melvin.
that shouldn't be.
hey, Melvin.
So yeah, Sleepy Hollow and other ghost stories.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Teresa, are you?
Oh, yeah. Heck yes. I mean, these are classic tales, and they're creepy and very well written. But I still love Edgar Allan Poe. I think that Washington Irving maybe needed to do more laudanum or something to to be more as awesome as him.
Yeah.
And they were short stories, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I even have a book. See? But yeah, they're Sleepy Hollow is like, I don't know, like one of my favorite I guess we would say Revolutionary War type era stories. So
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've always loved that era of time. So really any movie of that time period, I like watching.
Yeah. I always imagine though, in that movie, in my perfect head canon, I would have penicillin, so it'd be okay. So I wouldn't be dying every 5 minutes from every infection or cut I get.
Well, this one's different, right?
Glitch.
This one's you've seen a bunch of movies, adaptations. You've seen it in video games, TV shows. So, and there's a real town.
Yeah, a lot of. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's a real town in New York.
Yeah, I bet you they have tons of fun, cool stuff this time of year.
I believe that they kind of do.
They should. If not, they suck.
So they have a quick guide on what to do there during Halloween. There,
Nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting tidbits that Irving took from reality and to flesh out his story. Pretty cool. So let me pull up the article.
Oh yeah, they've got all kinds of stuff there in the town. Maybe we could share that later.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, where's it? Oh, I pulled up the wrong one.
Don't you hate that?
Yes.
Oh, as long as it's not the really wrong one.
As long as you're not showing like your bank statements, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Social security number.
There we go.
That'd be fun.
So yeah, I hadn't read most of these.
I haven't either.
Mhm. Yeah.
Have you, Miss Martin?
One or two. You know, I went ahead and I was reading a bunch of short stories leading up to this. They're kind of wild, kind of fun actually, because I've
Mhm.
never really been a huge fan of the actual story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, like the short story. So these other ones I thought were a little more cool.
You don't think Sleepy Hollow is cool?
Not the well, I don't like the actual short story. But well, I know why they're doing what they're doing. It's very deep and all of that, and about community and the legend and the whole idea of what Ichabod represents, like in that one article that we were pointing out. But it just didn't do a lot for me. But some of these other ones, these shorter ones, I thought they were more spooky and kind of more awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's dive into this. So yeah, the 10 best ghost stories by Washington Irving, other than Sleepy Hollow. He was the greatest American writer of his time, mentor to Poe, Dickens, and Hawthorne. His country's first professional author and writer of uniquely American ghost stories about growth, change, and identity. His his was the complex personality of an extensive
Existentially anxious. Existentially. There we
existentially
go. I did it.
anxious, emotionally complex man disturbed by his fame and haunted by loneliness. These disquieting themes course through his Gothic tales. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Rip Van Winkle, The Devil and Tom Walker, and more. Tales haunted by specters and anxiety.
Well, that makes sense because Ichabod Crane was pretty anxious, and he had a little bit of a. He was kind of that. He had a little. He was like nervous a lot. Remember in the story, like he was kind of the town goof,
Yeah.
I guess. Right?
Yeah. And, well, he had it coming. Come on. He was tall and scrawny and weird.
Oh yeah, take down all those tall, scrawny people.
Damn
Yeah.
right.
I guess if you wanted to say a more modern term would be like Revenge of the Nerds. Like he was geek first jock
Yeah.
after one girl, and it's interesting that the writer was similar in trait. So
Yeah, I love that artwork too.
yeah, there's a lot of Sleepy Hollow artwork out there.
Yeah.
Well,
Though he was, oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, well, a lot of it captures the imagination. The whole area is kind of spooky. The whole New England kind of thing going on, and
Yeah, especially the time when he wrote the stories because everything was new, right?
mhm.
Mm-hmm. There were probably tales of all kinds of specters, and it's not too far removed from the Salem witch trial either. So
No.
100 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
so people were still, probably thinking about that, or there were probably dense religious areas that, were still like down with the witches.
They were.
Yeah.
They would be the kind of people that wouldn't have liked Harry Potter.
Yeah, and well, there's still some towns and people like that today, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
I would assume that there's were more of them would around this time. So these stories probably really spooked a lot of people.
And, told it at the evening and in taverns and by the fireside.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool to like have a warm tavern beer by the fire because their beer was
Yes.
warm back then, and then you would listen to Sleepy Hollow, like barely lit room with a candle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be cool. And like you've never heard it before, you're just like, what? Anyway,
Yeah.
any stories you would go, that would be cool to just sit in there and you hear like the
Yeah.
cold wind.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I think these things were so popular. This was the equivalent of them watching Michael Myers. It's like
Yeah.
and they'd be creeped out and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of unknown in this new world. There's, like I said, there's a lot of unknown. There was a lot of unknown in the world. So,
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
uh,
and I like the way that you was it. Ichabod Crade's favorite book was Cotton Mather's book on the history of witches, or was the
Yeah.
history of New England witchcraft, which I'm sure was something that they would have talked about, like Irving and all
oh
that. I'm
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah. People still make up ghost stories all the time. It's a pastime that not just American, just
Oh yeah.
worldly. I mean, on my show, a few weeks ago we reviewed a few ghost stories that people told on Reddit, and were they real or are they not real? But they were still creepy. So it's just
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh well, heck, those Irish ghost stories that used to scare the crap out
yeah.
of me that they would tell us. It's like, forget that. The
Yeah.
White Lady. All that
Yeah,
crap.
and not just Irish, but you have Spanish ghost stories.
Mhm.
And even today, like everyone enjoys a scary movie, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's in our brain to like these things, but also be terrified of them.
Well, it's always fun to be a little bit scared.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Someone's always scared of something.
Hmm.
Yeah. Number 10 is a Chronicle of Wolfert's Roost. Did I say
What a
that?
name,
Yeah.
Wolferts.
Wolfert's.
Well, that was like from like a series of papers or something, and then
Yeah. Do you know if the drawings on this article were done by an artist recently?
Yeah, I think at the top of it says, where's that? It says it somewhere.
Because these sketches are cool.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
If you enjoyed The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, don't miss out on this nonfiction sequel of sorts in a Chronicle of Wolfert's Roost. Irving tells a series of legends, ghost stories, and superstitions surrounding the Van Tassel farmhouse. Irving himself bought the property when he returned from Europe, renamed it Sunnyside, and lived there for years. He relates genuine local superstitions about I lost my place. Sorry. He relates genuine local superstitions about his house, including how Sleepy Hollow was bewitched by an Indian wizard, how it was cursed by witches, including one who lived in his home, some of the wartime adventures of the historical Van Tassel family, and a series of ghosts from whom he saw himself. A weeping female in his orchard, a hanged skeleton doomed to row past his house on the Hudson. These are the true legends of Sleepy Hollow.
Mhm.
Cool. So this is a sequel to Sleepy Hollow? Is that what I heard there?
No,
it was like stories from the area of Sleepy Hollow.
Okay, because wasn't Katrina's last name Van?
Yeah.
Was it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Although
they
were all
a real
descended
person
from
too.
Dutch. Yeah, it's like it can kind of be considered like a sequel, but like not really a sequel, if that makes sense.
So like Last Jedi.
Oh gosh, no.
No.
How
No,
dare you? Sir.
Not that.
Washington Irving's ghost will come and haunt you for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I was out of line.
Yeah, the headless horseman was there was like a fire in one of the Van Tassel's houses, and a Haitian soldier rescued a baby from the fire. And during a battle, one of the Haitians' head was knocked off by a cannonball, and
Okay,
they
so
buried him in the uh, churchyard.
so that the Johnny Depp movie starts that way.
Yeah,
That's who I think either the Johnny Depp movie is that, or the TV show is the ghost of that guy.
okay.
Interesting. Like they use that part of the story, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I get.
Hey, Jay Goodwin. And this one is the two discrete statues.
Ooh.
That actually is one of the coolest titles ever. Two discrete statues, and statues get creepy.
Yeah.
Think of
Yeah.
like Doctor Who, those angel ones.
Yes, the angels, the what do they call them? Weeping angels.
Yep.
Most of Irving. Oh, go ahead, Miss Martin.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just saying, we were speaking of Spanish stories.
Mhm.
Yeah, though of course it's not like authentically, because that's not like his stories, but kind of playing on it there.
This one sounds interesting. Most of Irving's Spanish supernatural tales are closer to fantasy and fairy tales than horror, but a few of them have some truly gothic moments. In this story, a poor girl finds a magic charm which allows her to visit a ghostly party on St. John's Eve, Spanish Halloween,
Okay.
where the souls of gloomy Moorish aristocrats, wizards, and ladies are commiserating their loss of Grenada.
Huh.
Here, the girl helps to free the soul of a Spanish prisoner, and the woman rewards her with the location of a buried Moorish treasure.
Listen, all's fun and games until you free the soul of a Spanish prisoner. Okay, this is not going to end well.
Yes.
So don't do it, folks.
Don't do it,
Don't do it.
even if it's for money.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe for money.
Okay, but if you die, you can't enjoy it.
Mm. But my family could.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Just make sure you just make sure you put it in your will.
Yeah.
that they can't get the money. Oh,
Yeah, if I find this treasure, it goes to, and I die, it goes to so and so.
okay, that's a nice thing
Yes.
to do.
And if you put a
Unless-
treasure, that applies to any treasure. So you're covered if you are a treasure hunter.
Yes. Unless it's cursed treasure. And you become a skeleton at night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Another Johnny Depp reference.
Yes. Yes. The grand.
Wait, you didn't
Right.
finish reading the rest of it?
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say you didn't get to the good part.
yeah, there was like a
Okay.
thing that said
Things were gonna go wrong.
Things look good for her family until her mother tells her confessor. Yeah, that line.
A lecherous
Blackbird.
snake with a boot.
A lecherous snake with a brood
Brood
of.
of pudgy offspring.
Nobody likes a brood of pudgy offspring.
What
He
is that?
coyly blackmails them into gifting his church huge amounts. The family decide to flee in the night, and when the priest hears of their plan, he prepares an ambush. But as Ichabod Crane found out, he who seeks to ruin the hopes of decent, hardworking people may end up racing goblin horsemen or riding a goblin steed.
Wow. Can you imagine like riding a goblin steed? That'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah, I
Like
wouldn't.
a
No.
A warg.
I'd say goodbye, goodbye, and thank you.
I'll
No.
walk home. Thank you.
You see, that's the thing. Two people can keep a secret if one of them's dead, okay? And they're definitely not going to keep a secret about a released Spanish ghost thing prisoner.
Yeah.
You say that. You say that like you've done that before.
Oh, shh, don't tell anybody.
Maybe in D&D. Maybe.
That's how Teresa keeps her secrets.
Yeah, darn right, Ribbit. Yeah, y'all think I'm a happy, friendly little rose, or am I?
She has thorns.
Yeah, there are always thorns, but well, Jacob, we've done far worse things in D&D.
Yeah. It sounds like it gets pretty lively with, especially with Mara Jade.
Well, if you look at the drawing, it's a headless horse.
Is it? Where is the?
If you look at the drawing, it's the opposite. It's a headless horse, and he's got
Just
those
bones
goblins
sticking out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice that.
Well, that's cool.
This one was kind of interesting too. I think this is the right one.
Yeah.
The Grand Prior of San
Menorca.
Menorca.
I think.
Menorca. Yes.
Menorca, yeah.
Menorca. I looked it up earlier and tried to and pronounced it several times, and
but your brain never.
Yeah.
Hey, oh my gosh, that just happened.
What?
Wait.
Matthew Perry just passed away.
Yeah, really?
Wait, what?
Sorry to interrupt your show, but I just got a message on my computer and it popped up. I was like, what? Oh, man. Oh, great.
Let me Google.
Sorry.
Did they say what it was?
Drowning.
You've got to
Really?
be kidding me.
Goodness.
No, I just ruined the whole show. Look at this, just derailing.
Holy crud.
That's crazy.
54.
Yeah. I love how people are like, I didn't even know he was sick. Wait,
he
it says
drowned in his home.
But he drowned.
Like, how is he
Okay,
sick?
that's totally murder.
Apparent drowning. He was 54 and found in jacuzzi. Well,
Ooh.
I guess he had a heart attack.
Hmm,
First report
that's
is a heart attack, and then there were no drugs found, so he can't be sick. He just probably fell asleep or like had some weird thing.
Holy crud.
Dang. Well, sorry. I didn't mean to.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I saw that. I was like,
about death and all that, but
Yeah.
damn.
I was looking up the other stuff for Sleepy Hollow, and then that popped up, and I was like, what? Yeah, it sounds like a heart attack. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's
I know he had
terrible.
problems with drink, but I thought he was sober. No, I don't know.
Well, they said there was nothing there, so
Could have just had a heart attack and not been able
he's
to
had
get
a
out of the
hard
water.
life, so I would
Yeah.
assume that takes some time of you. Well,
Yeah.
anyways,
On that happy note,
Back to happy things.
back to death again.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
the other kind of death.
Like, oh, go ahead. Like much of his later work, after he retired to Terrytown and began reviewing his life, this ghost story reads more like Edgar Allan Poe than the writer of Knickerbocker's History of New York. Mirthless, wild, and gloomy, it tells the story of two army officers who run afoul of one another over the attentions of a pretty girl. It's always
a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Always two men after a pretty girl.
The younger, petulant officer demands to duel his older, graver colleague on Good Friday, despite the sacrilegious undertones in a bereft struggle. The older man is mortally wounded. Horrified that he will die before the Easter holiday, and without last rites, he begs his killer to return his sword to his ancestral hall in France, so that his soul might at least have some rest. Hounded by nightmares of the blood-stained man pleading with him, the hot-headed victor finally agrees and journeys to the gloomy mansion. But the ghost in his nightmares is not the only one he must face. The oil paintings in the dusty hall decide that the murderer of their descendant calls for a family reunion, one to which his murderer is forced to attend.
Dun dun dun.
Wow. Huh.
That's pretty.
So it's not a Halloween one, but that's around a holiday, a pagan holiday.
Kind of
originally.
reminds me of the what is that movie? I think it's called The Duelist. But it's
Okay.
these two swordsmen that keep going at each other
Like
for
Highlander?
years.
Oh,
That it
Who wants
actually
to live
inspired.
forever?
It actually inspired Highlander.
Okay.
I forget.
Well, there was
I
a
think
scene. There was a scene in Highlander. You know, the first one where he was dueling and he was drunk. Remember?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And he kept stabbing himself, and he's like, "Hey."
Yeah. One of the Carradines was in that movie.
Hmm. Yeah, and then there's all this, you know, the world famous duel where a president gets shot
Yeah.
or shoots someone.
well, the vice president does.
Yeah, vice president shoots someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we think we've got contentious things happening in our politics. So far, no one's dueled anyone, as far as I
No.
know.
That would be
I can
awesome, though, right?
Remember the
Yeah.
in the Senate in the Senate on the Senate floor before the Civil War, a Southerner beat a Republican senator with his walking stick on the House floor.
Yeah. Put him
That's
in
what I'm
the
saying.
hospital.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that again. Maybe we should bring back duels, but this time, you know, it's just maybe with like rubber bullets.
Yeah.
Well, who knows?
Might change some minds of people.
Paintball.
I don't know. I'm just trying to imagine. I'm thinking about our current vice president, trying to imagine her in a duel with. It would be with someone in the cabinet or a former
Yeah.
treasurer from
I
the
think it'd be
cabinet.
awesome.
Oh my gosh, what a mess!
Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
The Adventure of My Grandfather.
This one sounds creepy.
Yeah,
The Adventure of My Grandfather.
it looks like a creepy one. A creepy grandfather. Is that a billow thing in his hands?
Yes.
Oh,
It kind of
okay.
explains what that is in the synopsis of the story.
Ooh, this is a sexy tale.
Yes, it's a sexy tale.
His body.
Of
A
desire.
fairly bawdy, sexy tale of desire and deception. The Adventure of My Grandfather is probably a ghost story in the same way that Sleepy Hollow is. It isn't.
It isn't.
But it's a strangely woven story of dancing furniture and low boil eroticism. Have kept it one of Irving's most popular ghost stories. The dashing Irish dragoon decides to spend the night in a Flemish inn where he flirts with and arouses the attentions of every female in sight. He has a favorite habit of slapping his backskin-clad thigh when making a point. That seems to melt the women's hearts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did that
In the
melt your
middle of
heart
the-
there?
Yeah.
Just wow. A precursor to 50 Shades of. Never mind.
In the middle of the night, the inn is aroused by a horrible cacophony of coming from the dragoon's room. His cabinet has fallen over, and some chairs are strewn about. Shocked himself, he tells how he awoke to the ruckus only to see an old man playing a bellows, a symbol of deception, blowing hot air like a bagpipe, a traditional symbol of lust,
Yikes.
which caused the furniture in his room to spring to life and dance. The goblin bagpiper is explained by one of the women who claims that a mad juggler died in that room. Satisfied, the sleepy man and perky woman go back to bed. And the reader is left wondering which woman or woman might know the truth about the nighttime rumble.
Like,
What would Sigmund Freud say about this?
there was no grandpa.
Fake news.
Just an old dude. Weird.
Wow. Unless he's supposed to be the grandpa.
Mm.
That's a lively one.
The goblin bagpiper.
Hey, that is a good point. Never pick a fight with gravity.
Oh no. You guys are terrible.
So yeah, this one. What is this one?
Looks like it's
Dolph
Swedish or
Halliger.
something.
Dolph
Hey, Halliger?
Halliger.
Something like that. A huge inspiration to both Tom Sawyer and Treasure Island. Dolph Halliger is a sorely underrated American river voyage. Befriends a group of ruffians and the searches for buried treasure. Part adventure, part romance, part ghost story, and part treasure hunt. It follows a young Dolph Landrin. Sorry, just kidding. A miscreant living with his mother in old New York, where he becomes an apprentice to a mysterious German alchemist, the high German doctor who Irving says bewitched Sleepy Hollow, and is put in charge of exploring a haunted house which the greedy wizard hopes to rent out. Easygoing in a way that would make Rip Van Winkle proud, Dolph encounters a ghostly figure in the ruined home and continues to dream of the apparition leading him to a crock of treasure gold. Drawn by supernatural.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say that's the kind of apparition I want that brings me to gold.
Yeah.
See, that's like a
Just leave me to
worthwhile
gold.
apparition. I can deal with that.
Yes. Drawn by supernatural forces, and the breakneck scamp stows away on a ship sailing up the Hudson, is washed overboard in a storm, is saved by hunters, falls in love with their leader's daughter, and learns the secret of the haunted house, the ghostly man, and buried treasure, and his own family history.
Whoa! All in one
Neat.
day, or no,
All in one day.
that sounds actually pretty badass. I've not read this one, but
You know what's fascinating about this author? He had a lot to. He was in a new world, right? So he was able to pull a lot of weird folk tales, and then write them to the public. Like it's like I was doing some research, and it's amazing that he was actually named after George Washington, and then he met him when he was like young. Like imagine meeting George Washington at like 6.
Yeah,
and then he lived in the time where New York was under siege and all that stuff. So he I'm pretty sure he saw or witnessed as a kid like some gnarly stuff for him to get some of these stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just been. I didn't realize how, like, I guess he's just so in deep with like our history. It's amazing.
Mhm. Well, and I think that is one of the cool parts about Rip Van Winkle, the whole idea that when he falls asleep, it's before the revolution and he wakes up and it's like, what the heck is happening here?
Yeah.
There's
And I
electric
think that,
cars.
And well, not quite that bad.
what in Sam Hill? No, sorry.
What is a car?
It's a horseless carriage. Next up is number 5, the Wolfert Weber, or Golden Dreams.
That looks like a pirate.
Yeah, it does look like a bird.
I mean, he probably saw real pirates too.
Yep.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so Melvin says Haljabend is Christmas Eve.
I think he originally thought that Heiliger was German for Christmas, and then he realized
okay.
it was Halgebend. So he
Yeah, a wheelbarrow. A horseless carriage is a wheelbarrow. Good job.
Oh,
Jay.
yeah.
It's true.
So this is kind of cool. Robert Louis Stevenson openly cited Irving's piracy tales, Dolph Halliger, Gibbet Island, Tom Walker and the Devil, and this story for influencing Treasure Island.
All right.
Edgar Allan Poe also owed Wolfert Weber a debt for inspiring the Gold Bug. Irving can be credited with creating the modern concept of pirates and as dashing romantic figures of mystery and intrigue rather than slouchy cutthroats.
Full circle. Washington made Johnny Depp a pirate. Without pirates, there would be no Johnny Depp, and then you would have no Sleepy Hollow Johnny Depp version.
Holy crap, talk about 7 degrees of separation. Hey, that Gibbet stories, that's one of my favorites. That one's pretty awesome.
Without Washington making pirates, you would not have Goonies. And then without Goonies, you would not have
Sean Astin being Sam.
Yeah. I was going to say, you wouldn't have Johnny Depp trying to dress as a pirate in 21 Jump Street, which came out a few years after.
Oh, gosh.
This was the time before TV. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depended on what area you would be in for illiteracy. I guess.
Yeah. Well, it just it depends. Well,
I mean that was the thing, you know. It was the tavern was the gathering place for
and if you saw like a pirate looking dude come in, you probably were like, "Oh, I wonder what he's doing," right?
Or
why is
a guy
he
wearing bandages and sunglasses? You're like, what is that?
Yeah, what's going on with that guy, right? Like, you would probably make up your own story. We do that now. You know, you see things that we just, maybe that guy's something, and you make stories up of. It's like people watching.
Yeah. Yeah, it was their television. Well, and of course, the art of storyteller is still with us, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're out there. You can find them.
Not at Disney.
No. But
that's go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, because I had a professional storyteller on my channel once talking about it, and like, it's like an art. They still do it, and they'll just sit and tell you a story. And scary stories are still the best.
Yeah.
It's like when you see a guy in a windowless white van. I make up a really good story. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if you see a bunch of Italians in suits, you're like, mafia.
Yes. Hail, I'm down for pirate werewolves. Had it been done before?
I don't know.
I mean,
but that sounds cool.
Maybe in this story.
Wait. Where am I here? Oh, you read that one. I'm sorry. Okay, let's finish this one off. As a young man, Irving was on a ship that was captured by French pirates. He served as a translator between the buccaneers and the captain,
See, I told you
and
he's seen some stuff.
suffered nightmares of the experience.
Dude.
He's seen things,
Yeah,
and he told the story about him, which is really cool.
yeah. And Wilford Wibber.
I keep
He
thinking you're going to say
replies
Wilford Wimbley. Or what's that guy's name from the insurance? From Cocoon?
Yeah, right. Diabetes.
And now you're going to say that now. Wilford
Yeah.
Wimbley. Yeah.
Wilford Wimbley. He replies that horror by telling of a man's obsession with finding pirate gold. The little character is engrossed by the bloody tales of mysterious quest at his local inn. A foul-mouthed, hard-drinking, violent sailor with a scarred face and a sea chest, he seems to know too much about pirate culture and stories. Weber also relishes the stories of local buried treasure, ghost pirates, bodies that refuse to sink, and hobgoblins in sailor garb. Together with the alchemist from Dolph Holliger and a freed slave who witnessed murders buying a chest, and a freed slave who witnessed murderers burying a chest. He embarks on a ghostly treasure hunt with very surprising results.
Whoa.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you remember they mentioned the Treasure Island, right? That was like a story like that. Like there was a guy's treasure that everyone was after. And I think he even said, was it say Tom Sawyer? Because Tom Sawyer was after the treasure too, and he had a free slave as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Huckleberry Finn.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Treasure Island one. That guy shows up to the inn, and he has the map where Treasure Island is.
Yeah. Did you ever see the TV show Treasure Island?
The one with the who played Batman and Charlton Heston.
Well, that's a movie.
A TV movie. Okay, my fault.
I'm talking about the TV show that was like, I think it was on
the
like
one with
Showtime or
Frodo
something.
in it.
Oh, then no.
Yeah, they
Didn't that have what's his name? The guy that played Frodo.
Elijah
No.
Wood.
No.
He was
That's
in one.
yeah. Never mind. It's okay. There was an actual TV show about treasure.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Unless you're thinking Black,
yeah,
you're not thinking Black
the,
Sails, are you?
Yeah, Black Sails.
There we
Oh,
go.
Black
Oh
Sails.
heck yes, Black
I
Sails.
thought you were talking about Oak Island.
But that was like a Treasure Island story.
Yeah.
It had Long John Silver.
Yeah.
And then Disney did one of Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
Too.
And then the
That's pretty good.
Muppets.
And
That's the
Muppets, yeah.
best one.
That is the
Hands
best. I
down.
love that one. That's a good one.
This is a creepy picture.
Yeah.
Tom Walker and the Devil.
Unlike Wolfert. I almost said it. Unlike Wilford Weber, who has a degree of Rip Van Winkle's lovable
Panache.
Sorry. Got some French words here. Sorry. Tom Walker is a treasure hunter whom we would rather not get to know. As a hateful and bitter as Scrooge and just as cheap, Tim Walker would sell his soul to the devil for money, and he does. Stumbling upon Old Scratch is what they used to call the devil. Old Scratch. In the ruins of an Indian fortress, hidden in the tangles of a Hockomock swamp, is even today considered haunted and is part of the Bridgewater Triangle, an area plagued with disappearances, murders, ghosts, devil worshippers, UFOs, and cryptids. Walker
What a
finds him.
place.
What? Yeah.
Oh, I was like, wow.
There's an
Sign
idea
me
for
up.
one of your shows, JT.
Yeah.
What is it? Bridgewater Triangle.
Yeah, I
Walker
never heard of
find-
that before.
Yeah, me neither. Walker finds himself surrounded with trees inscribed with the names of powerful men. Satan is chopping one down, claiming that its representative, who sold his soul for power, will soon die. Old Scratch claims responsibility for most of the community's vices: the slaughter of Indians, the human trafficking of African slaves, and sale of mortgages. What is that?
Mortgages.
Mortgages with criminally high interest.
Ah, it sounds like today.
That's
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Enamored
Enamored.
with the prospect of wealth, but not evil enough to turn slave trader. So he says. Walker becomes a loan shark again, like Scrooge, and lives a miserly
Miserable existence.
existence, raking in wealth, while the rest of his community is rocked by brutal recession. As he ages, he hopes to back out of his bargain, but when Satan pounds on his door with an axe on his shoulder and a demon horse at his side, it seems like the loan shark is about to have his debt called.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like a. So if you go back to that picture, that was Satan.
Yes,
That's the dude was Satan.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I would say that looks like him.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Old
it just seems
Scratch.
like the debt it's like a story of the bank owing money, and then they have to get bought out by someone else, the government.
the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yep.
Yeah,
They
it
got
looks
it
like this
very-
guy he owed people money and people owed him, and he wasn't getting paid, so
Yeah.
he couldn't pay his.
If only he was a fiddle player.
Damn right.
Or a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You heard it here first, everyone. We could have solved it all.
Yeah, that's an interesting story, but I mean that's the same with Scrooge. I mean, yeah, people owed him money, but then he changed his outlook to where he wasn't
So now
so stingy
yeah.
on it.
we had the adventure of my grandpa, and now we have the adventure of my uncle.
I wonder if they're related.
I don't know. They might be. Tremendously misunderstood and largely unappreciated, this strange and haunting story is one of my favorites. Sometimes written off before what certain critics have called a cliffhanger ending, The Adventure of My Uncle tells the story of an English tourist who spends the night at the mansion of a little French marquis who's deeply proud of his family history. The story is telescopic. We hear it from Irving's crayon. I don't know what that.
That was
meant
one of
back
his
then.
pseudonyms. He had like different
Oh,
silly
okay.
names that he would write under.
Okay.
Like a ghost name, Ghost
Yeah.
Rider.
Yeah.
Irving's, and they were goofy.
It's like P. Diddy, and Puff Daddy. Different names.
Mhm. I'm surprised
But
we don't
Irving
have a
did it
rapper
first.
named Crayon.
Prince, the symbol, formerly known as Prince Symbol. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
We hear it from Irving's crayon, who heard it from the nervous gentleman, who heard it from a friend, who heard it from his uncle, who hears the backstory from the Marquis. Well, and there is a sense of gradual sinking into into the cesspools of forgotten history. The uncle is awoken in the night by the sight of a sad, pale woman, beautiful if weary looking, who bends hopelessly over the fire before disappearing with a glance at the Englishman. In the morning, the Marquis, who we are told will be impaled on a peasant's pike during the revolution, nervously confesses that the ghost was probably that of the historical princess Anne Genevieve de Bourbon. De Bourbon. I did the best I could.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not
all you
very
can
good
do.
at French. The French hate the way I pronounce. Well, bourbon. Call it bourbon,
Yes.
like the drink,
Bourbon.
and let the French
Okay.
stew.
Princess Bourbon.
There you are.
An intellectual beauty who was one of the leaders of the pro-democratic Fround Rebellion. She sought to divide power between the King of France and the people. The rebellion failed, and the princess fled for safety, taking refuge in the Marquis castle. But something horrible happened that night. The Marquis becomes uncomfortable and explains that when noble blood goes bad, terrible things can happen.
Mm.
So yeah,
Sudden,
Hate
it's
it when that happens.
yeah.
it's a French word, but I guess it's been a series of civil wars in the Kingdom of France between 1648 and 1653.
Cool.
So like they're just rebelling, and it's just people that don't want to be a part of the main country of France, I guess.
Kind of like Quebec and Canada.
Seeds of communism was started during the French Revolution.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hate the French Revolution. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
I have real issues with it.
So, anyways, yeah, that's what it's just another quarrel within the French.
Sure.
Suddenly, uneasy with the family history he couldn't help gushing the day before, he begs the uncle not to question him further. The ghost of the princess, who historically did stay at Norman Chateau during her flight, and lived the rest of her life in
Studious.
studious exile.
Oh,
Bummer.
that's what I want to do the rest of my life. Have a studious exile,
Studious, yes.
please.
Sounds like a bowel movement.
Oh, I'm not running away. I'm having a studious exile.
Doctor, help me.
Oh gosh. Okay, you heard it here first. We got a new term.
Studious exile.
I studious exiled all over myself.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's okay.
Remains on his property because of something horrible. Remains on his property because of something horrible that his ancestors did to her. In my notes to the story, I expand my theory about this strange and haunting tale, but none of Irving's stories have ever left me this uncomfortable or given me a keener sense of quiet, hidden evil and studious exiles.
Yeah. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
Yeah, don't know this story, but it sounds pretty odd.
Yeah.
Jay says, Doctor, my exiles have been practically studious of late.
Nice.
And I guess his other name is IP Freely. That's Jay's other name.
So yeah, this one is the guillotine. Another French.
It's got to be another
movie.
French one, yeah.
Yeah. The Adventure of the German Student.
Oh yeah, this one's wild.
Yeah.
Oh
I like
yeah.
this one. Yeah, we got a guillotine.
Off with their
Finally.
head.
Off with his head. None of Irving's ghost stories are as popular as haunting as darn it. None of Irving's ghost stories are as popular or haunting as The Adventure of the German Student. It is so well known and catchy that it becomes an urban legend and has been updated several times, while The Adventure of My Uncle is a criticism of the conservative worldview. What? Lionizing the powerful and elite without recognizing the violations and excesses of the past. Using French history as its background, the German student attacks the radical worldview. Or, hang on.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Attacks
is this the author's bias coming in by calling that a conservative worldview?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking, dude, I don't know, but no, that's not what's going on.
No.
Washington Irving did not live in 2023. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I think this is the person who wrote the web article coming out here.
Putting in their opinion.
He doesn't want to be
I mean, let's
canceled.
finish the story, then we'll talk about that. Because that's stuck in my craw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. With the French Revolution as its stage, a German philosophy student, communist probably, an atheist and political radical, is enjoying the revolution's radical change, although the endless guillotinings of people who don't pass the label
liberal
or the liberal purity tests seem a little zealous.
Yeah,
a little zealous.
Psycho.
Consumed with thought and passion, he roams the streets of Paris during the storm, where he meets a sobbing woman at the foot of the guillotine. Beautiful, forlorn, and marked by the black velvet choker she wears around her neck that keeps her head on. He is drawn to her side amidst the lightning. She explains that she has lost all of her friends to the purges. Touched, the German invites her to be his wife, and the two return to his apartment where they consummate their secular marriage.
Oh, so that's what they call it.
Yeah, shacking up. You probably know the rest. What he sees when he wakes up and what happens when he undoes the choker, and who the authorities tell him she was. But Irving tosses a beautifully
Poesque. That's a made up word.
Yeah. Cloud of mystery around it all by telling us that the German student all of his to the storyteller from his cell in a madhouse. Okay.
Yeah. So I think we all kind of know.
So wait, I'm confused.
I don't think he got that story.
So Teresa, you read this story, right?
Yes. It's been a while though. Yeah. Well, in other words, he did it with a ghost. I mean,
ooh.
Yeah, a headless ghost.
So he came up walking the street, came up to a guillotine, saw a dead chick with a head somewhat missing, and he had his way with her.
Well, she had a choker on, so the choker was covering
So he didn't think she was dead.
The,
He didn't know she was
star?
dead.
It was like a ghost thing because she had the thing to cover it up, and then he took the choker off and lost his, you know what?
So she was a ghost.
Well,
and
yeah,
he
or very
slept with a
recent.
ghost.
I sure hope she was a ghost, actually.
So it's not like a.
See, that's why you shouldn't be
Ew.
an atheist weirdo who likes the French Revolution.
Yes. He took the choker off and had a studious exile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This gives a whole new meaning to an adventure.
Weird.
And he was
I mean,
was telling the story from a madhouse because it made him crazy. Or
Yeah.
was the whole story just because
Maybe he was
crazy?
just air humping. He thought he was doing a ghost.
oh,
Oh
man.
my gosh. Okay, everybody Google.
Oh,
Because if I'm wrong, I will blame it on.
You want me to Google air humping?
No, don't you dare. No, I'm just double checking because, like I said, I did not reread this one. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, man. I'm not putting that up, Jay. No.
What? Oh.
His last comment there.
Yeah, when he takes off the choker, you see she's a dead chick. Yes. And the officers tell him, "Hey, dude, she was executed yesterday."
Okay.
And the
Yeah,
and
you
it says
celebrating
here
the
from summary,
revolution
the
now?
officer undoes the collar around the neck of the corpse, causing the head to roll around on the floor.
Okay.
Okay, that would send
Oh.
me to the madhouse.
So
she-
it was a
she-
corpse.
It was a corpse. He just
Ooh.
violated
was
a
like a-
woman that was just
Oh.
laying around.
Yeah.
Oh my
so-
gosh, this is taking a
Oh.
whole other.
Oh.
I don't remember this. Oh my gosh.
Me neither.
He was like,
Oh,
"Hey, lady,
that's
you just
terrible.
sleeping?"
So maybe. Oh gosh. Okay, maybe he had pretended in his head he thought she was alive because he was really into that kind of.
Well, it
stuff?
serves him right.
Yeah, like I
serves him
said, that's
right
what happens
for-
when you have
for
premarital sex.
celebrating-
There you go.
And
he
it
saw
serves
a
him
lady.
right for
Story for you.
celebrating the murder of a bunch of people.
He saw a lady taking a nap, and he decided to have his way with her.
Yeah.
And then she ended up being dead.
Exactly.
And then he was arrested and thrown into a nut house for violating the dead.
Yeah.
At least he doesn't have to send her flowers afterwards. I guess that's true.
That's true. I totally have to reread this now. I just knew it was wild. I forgot about the head rolling around.
Maybe this is the inspiration of Weekend and Bernie's.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Fresh
yeah.
corpse. You're Burmy. Oh my gosh, this is terrible.
She
I
did
mean,
not
she
say
didn't
no.
Say no. Oh no.
She didn't tell him to stop.
Oh.
Do
But
you
you're
think
right. That's
she
what
would have
happens
had like
to
a
someone that
well?
just looks the other way at
This
the
was a
French
French
Revolution.
Revolution. Like I say, she could have had a smell to her, but I guess everyone was kind of smelly back then.
Yeah.
That's true. They didn't have deodorant.
Yeah, they had perfume.
Mm-hmm.
She did smell a little weird. Huh?
See white flies.
Yeah.
Okay,
See all
how's
the
this? If you're
flies.
minding your own business and you're seeing some chick at night and she has a big choker around her neck, so when everyone's getting guillotined, she might be a ghost. So don't take her
You
to
say,
bed.
could you take your choker off, please?
Yeah,
Just to
yeah,
check.
before we
I-
sleep together.
I think he just weekend burning her. Just picked her up, took her for a walk.
Oh,
Maybe it was like the
Mhm.
mannequin movie.
yeah. Like I said, maybe he was a sicko and was like justifying it in his head that she really was alive.
They should remake Les Mis as this story. They should.
Oh my gosh!
Ah,
I never remove my choker. Okay, on my first date.
oh.
Oops.
He's like, let's get married. Bing and bang and a boom. Let's go.
It is called the adventure of the German student. It's quite an adventure.
Wow.
Boldly going where no man should
Go.
Look at these guys. They're having fun.
These are
Oh,
guests
those are
on
the
the
ghosts, the pirate ghosts.
Go-
people. Yeah.
what, that's
Yeah, I think this is
guests
one of the
on
one of
Gibbet
the pirate
Island?
stories. Yeah, this is one of the pirate stories they mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I like this one too.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think anybody's going after dead chicks.
This is
No,
yes, no.
they're pirates. They. Oh, we're trying to
This
keep this a
one is
Christian
just
channel,
fun.
so never mind. I was about
Les
to say
Mis.
something.
Yeah, they should make a scary movie called Les Mis.
Oh,
Oh.
there probably is a certain kind of movie with that name.
It's
Probably.
a dead man's party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is just fun. Unlike the preceding two, philosophical and intellectually demanding, or the two before that, adventuresome and white-knuckled, this story is nothing more or less than a good old-fashioned ghost tale. The ne'er-do-well named
Vanderscamp.
Vanderscamp
Yeah, Vanderscamp.
leaves his colonial New York town with a mysterious shipwreck survivor, a black man who speaks a foreign tongue, implied to be either a survivor from a slave ship or the demonic personification of the evils of the slave trade. Named Pluto.
Wait, did he add that in? Did the writer of this article add that in?
Yeah, the black man part.
Yeah,
I think so.
Why can't he just say this was a mysterious shipwreck survivor?
Yeah.
Named Pluto.
Yeah, I don't know enough about this. Now, I do know that this story has been criticized for some racial caricaturism, but it was also written in the
17th
century. Yeah, so it's like it would be a miracle if it wasn't a racial caricature.
Just like Huck Finn.
Yeah, it's just the way.
Yeah, and he shouldn't. You can't change history. You can't do that. This was history. This is how.
But you can change a choker.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or choke her.
Okay, so there's another pirate one.
Yeah, and he.
Yeah, this one's kind of cute and fun and weird.
So here, let me back up a little bit. So he leaves his colonial New York town with a mysterious shipwreck survivor named Pluto. And returns with suspicious amounts of wealth and disagreeably vulgar friends in tow. At the time, piracy was common, and many pirates lived comfortable lives on shore when not at sea. And Vanderscamp certainly raised his neighbor's eyebrows, along with the myth. Okay, I this word up earlier. What was it?
I think that's his first name.
Oh, Mephistophelian. Yeah, from Mephisto. A thing from the word Mephisto, the devil.
Pluto.
Hang on, I'm looking. I will.
So it's like he's a demon. So like devil like Pluto, and that's another reason why.
Yes,
it's been
wicked,
as a black
fiendish
character.
So wicked.
It means
Pluto.
wicked or fiendish. A Mephistophelian. Okay.
Pluto.
That's how you say it.
Yes.
Pluto.
Say that 3 times fast.
He takes over the local inn and it becomes overrun with buccaneers. Over time, the British crack down on piracy and most of Vanderscamp's friends are killed. 3 hanged in chains from a gallows near the inn. After years away, Vanderscamp and Pluto come back home. While rowing beneath the gallows, Vanderscamp at first seems horrified, then stifles his fear and sarcastically invites his rotting friends to dine with him that evening. Pluto's eyes seem to glint, and when the two arrive back at the inn, there is a surprise waiting for Vanderscamp's upstairs.
A German student.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
That's interesting.
Those guys right there, his friends.
Yeah, they're pirates.
Arg.
I mean, it's true. Like right on this time, you know, the British were going after the pirates. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
he probably saw some dudes hanging
Yeah.
in real life, and he wrote a story about it.
Like,
Probably.
that'd be fun.
I mean, the British would just hang people that were
Yeah.
so.
Well, yeah, it was a thing.
So he just has some, like we said, awesome stories other than Sleepy Hollow. Even though Sleepy Hollow is probably, and Van Winkle is probably the two most popular ones.
Mm-hmm.
JT, would you like to read just the part where the chase of the Headless Horseman?
You want me to read the? What do you
If
have
you
it?
want to. No.
Oh. You want me to find it?
Yeah, if you want to, if you don't mind.
Oh my gosh. Now you're asking me to find it in this book.
Look at the index.
I'm good. Do you want me to? If you have it ready, I'll read it. I don't have it ready, so I wasn't prepared for this.
That's okay. That's okay. It was just a last minute thought.
Oh, you're good. What I was gonna say was, what you mentioned earlier about Sleepy Hollow, the town, but yeah, they do all kinds of stuff like haunted hay rides, and you can like go through like haunted houses around Halloween in that town. So they've lived it up. They really take the whole Halloween seriously in that town.
Yeah.
The other thing too, I was going to mention, if you ever played that game Assassin's Creed Rogue, it's also about this time period, and you travel around in the northern part of the colonials states. So like you do get to visit Sleepy Hollow, and you actually get to walk across the bridge where you can walk through the bridge where Ichabod was.
Yeah. And you can visit the churchyard where the Haitian was buried.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and I think we said this backstage was like, there's quite a few movies just based off the Sleepy Hollow, but I wish there were movies or little short movies, films, or something, or episodes or something based off some of these stories. I think they would be really good.
Mm-hmm. Oh heck
Yeah,
yes!
I'll put this in the chat. It's a guy telling about the true parts of the Sleepy Hollow.
The
I'll
true
put it in
parts.
Yeah,
it was a
parts
pumpkin
that were-
squash, not a pumpkin.
Yeah,
It was
pumpkin
a
squash.
spaghetti squash, not a pumpkin.
Yeah.
I would, like I said, I think it'd be really cool if like someone maybe did a Netflix series or like a HBO series, and someone did like little, episodes of each one of these stories. I think that'd be really good.
Yeah,
It would
that'd
be
be
awesome,
cool.
and they write for them, and they write themselves. Yeah.
If they stick with the,
Well,
yeah,
there would be
material.
a quote unquote diverse cast.
I think if Netflix did it, maybe they would be on it. They would be okay with it, but HBO, you might get a little. It depends on who they have writing it. So
No. Well, but they would love the German tale because it has enough deviancy.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool, like especially if a different director did each one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Or yeah,
Screw Hollywood. We'll make it
the headless they them.
Yeah,
it's like the Grimm stories, right? They are good enough to where you can have something like this.
Oh yeah.
Who knew though that Edgar Allan Poe and a couple other big time writers used him as a mentor? And he was, if you look through his history, Washington has done some really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like a minister to Spain or something like that. So
yeah, that's where he got some of his inspiration for some of that. I don't know entirely what he was doing, but he definitely spent a long time.
So I would say he was, since he's he's American, like he was an American, he was born here.
Mhm.
I think I think you could put him up there as one of our founding authors. You know, not really fathers, but founding authors.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Hmm?
Yeah. Well, the American short story is the only. The reason it's called American short story. It's the only thing we've actually have that's our own in the literature version. We really made it a true art form and something to be taken seriously in of
Mhm.
itself.
Yeah, and I think if you were to, if you're going to mention influence people in that time period, you know, pre-Civil War, he has to be mentioned.
Mhm.
Oh, you want to? No, I'm not gonna. Well, look at this. You found it.
I found it. I can read it. I'll read it. I don't know how. Let me get a drink.
I think you should find the Disney version of this.
No.
Why not?
Just wait. I don't want to risk getting Disney coming at me.
What was that song though? It was like a good song for Ichabod.
Oh dear.
There we go. But yeah. All right. So you're gonna read this?
I don't know how long it is. But
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to read up to the point where he gets hit in the head and.
What's it?
The Ichabod screen is Ichabod Crane song from Disney is pretty funny. But
Yeah.
Okay, I can read this. It's not long.
Ichabod, what a name, kind of odd, but nice just the same. Fanny pan, fanny frame on Ichabod Crane. That's the chorus.
Oh, would you like to read I've got the page number, page 33.
That's funny.
If you want to, you don't have
That's
to.
copyright.
No, I'm good.
You don't want to read it? Okay.
As the Ichabod approached his fearful tree, he began to whistle. He thought his whistle was answered. It was but a blast sweeping sharply through the dry branches. As he approached a little nearer, he thought he saw something white. Hanging in the midst of the tree, he paused and ceased whistling. But on looking more narrowly, he perceived that it was a place where the tree had been scathed by lightning and the white wood laid bare. Suddenly he heard a groan. His teeth chattered, and his knees smoothed against the saddle. It was but rubbing of one huge upon another as they were swayed by the breeze. He passed the tree in safety, but new perils lay before him. It's pretty cool. Very creepy.
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't whistle.
Yes, don't whistle in a graveyard.
About
200. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
you're gonna do the second paragraph. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
You're good.
About 200 yards from the tree, a small brook crossed the road. A small brook crossed the road and ran into a marshy and thickly wooded glen known by the name of Willie's Swamp. Willie's Swamp. A few rough logs laid side by side served for a bridge over this stream. On that side of the road where the brook entered the wood, a group of oaks and chestnuts matted thick with wild grapevines threw a cavernous gloom over it. To pass this bridge was the severest trail. What?
Severest trial.
Severus trial. Yeah.
It was at this identical spot that the unfortunate Andy was captured, and under the covert of those chestnuts and vines where the sturdy yeoman concealed who surprised him. This has ever since been considered a haunted stream, and fearful are the feelings of the schoolboy who has to pass it alone after dark. As he approached the stream, his heart began to thump. He summoned up, however, resolution, all his resolution, gave his horse a score of kicks in the ribs, and attempted to dash briskly across the bridge. But instead of starting forward, the perverse old animal made a lateral movement and ran broadside against the fence. Ichabod, whose fears increased with the delay, jerked the reins on the other side and kicked lustily with his contrary foot. It was all in vain. His steed started, it is true, but it was only a plunge
Only
to the
to
opposite
plunge.
plunge in the opposite side of the road into the thicket of brambles and old bushes. The schoolmaster now bestowed both whip and heel upon the
Starveling.
starveling ribs of the old gunpowder, who dashed forward, snuffling and snorting, but came to a stand just by the bridge with a suddenness that had nearly sent his rider sprawling over his head. Just at this moment, a blashy tramp by the side of the bridge caught the sensitive ear of Ichabod in the dark shadow of the grave. On the morgan of the brook, he beheld something
Dun dun dun.
huge,
Hmm.
misshapen, black, and towering. It stirred not, but seemed gathered up in the gloom like some gigantic monster ready to spring upon the traveler. The hair
I can
of
read if you want to.
okay.
Heard me wants to read.
Yeah, let Teresa read. We
Yeah,
we've
it's like
done
can't.
both.
Don't you think women can read? No.
Just tell me when you want me to move it.
Okay. The hair. Oh wait. Okay, there it went. The hair of the affrighted pedagogue rose upon his head with terror. What was to be done? To turn and fly was now too late. And besides, what chance was there of escaping ghost or goblin, if such it was, which would ride upon the wings of the wind? Summoning up, therefore, a show of courage, he demanded in stammering accents, "Who are you?" He received no reply. He repeated his demand in a still more agitated voice. Still there was no answer. Once more he cudgeled the sides of the inflexible gunpowder, and shutting his eyes, broke forth with involuntary fervor into a psalm tune. Just then the shadowy object of alarm put itself in motion, and, with a scramble and a bound, stood at once in the middle of the road. Though the night was dark and dismal, yet the form of the unknown might now, in some degree, be ascertained. He appeared to be a horseman. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. He appeared to be a horseman of large dimension and mounted on a black horse
Wow.
of powerful frame. You're welcome. He made no offer of molestation. He made no offer of molestation or sociability, but kept aloof on one side of the road, jogging along the blind side of old Gunpowder, who had now got over his fright and waywardness.
Whoa.
Ichabod, who had no relish for this strange midnight companion, and bethought himself of the adventure of Brom Bones with the galloping Hessian, now quickened his steed in hopes of leaving him behind. The stranger, however, quickened his horse to an equal pace. Ichabod pulled up and fell into a walk, thinking to lag behind. The other did the same. His heart began to sink within him. He endeavored to resume his psalm tune, but his parched tongue clove to the roof of his mouth, and he could not utter a stave. There was something in the moody and dogged silence of this pertinacious companion who was mysterious and appealing. It was soon fearfully accounted for. On mounting a rising ground which brought the figure of his fellow traveler in relief against the sky, against the sky, gigantic in height and muffled in a cloak, Ichabod was horror-struck on perceiving that he was headless, but his horror was still more increased on that observing that the head, which should have rested on his shoulders, was carried before him on the pommel of his saddle. His terror rose to desperation. He rained a shower of kicks and blows upon Gunpowder. Hey, leave Gunpowder alone.
That was not nice.
Yeah, for crying out loud. Hoping by a sudden movement to give his companion the slip, but the spectre started full jump with him. Away then they dashed through thick and thin, stones flying and sparks flashing at every bound. Ichabod's flimsy garments fluttered in the air as he stretched his long, lank body away over his horse's head in the eagerness of his flight. Oh,
There we go.
Yep.
The GT.
I mean, it's beautifully written, right? So
Yeah.
you could not only feel in that, you feel yourself in that position. We've all like walked down or driven down a dark road, and
Yeah.
we hear all kinds of things, and
Or
that's what he's doing. He's going home, and then he sees a mystical beast throwing pumpkins at him, and just
yeah.
Yeah, no thank you.
it's
Yeah.
really well written. So it's good. I don't know.
Yeah. And can we say a moment of appreciation for the fact that in the middle of all that, he said, "I'm going to sing a psalm, darn it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's whip out Psalm 25.
Yeah, I mean, he gets chased, right? And just like in the movies, you don't know if he gets murdered or if he just escapes, so
Yeah.
so this is
Yeah,
pretty neat.
Like, did he disappear because he was a chicken, or did he disappear?
Why has it got to be dark? Well, normally this stuff doesn't happen in the daytime.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a cool picture. That's a cool illustration.
When we all know the Headless Horseman doesn't come out during the day.
Yeah, like really?
Well, I mean, New England, and what, it gets dark in the winter about 5 o'clock. I mean, I don't know if this is supposed to be set in the winter.
Oh, he's calling me racist.
Oh.
Oh. Who's
How
calling you
dare you.
racist? What?
Well, no, he didn't. He called you a racist, not a,
Racist.
racist. Yeah, so you're Das.
Okay. Sorry, Jay. I mean, I don't know. It's just, you can tell reading that you're like, nah, this feels unique. So,
Well, and this would be fun. Like we were saying, you're minding your own business. You're freezing cold because it's probably wet and rainy. Someone gives you a hot stew and a hot drink. It's like, let's read aloud this tale.
Yep. Again, wouldn't it be cool if you were in a tavern drinking Yeah, it'd be neat. It would be fun.
Well, I'll tell you what's stopping y'all? I have a fire pit out back. You get some friends, come over to, I'm sure you have a fire pit too, maybe. Get out around the campfire just with some lights and read aloud some of these stories. I bet
that's your suggestion, Jacob, for the stream, is reading stories outside around a fire, like Teresa said.
Here we are.
That'd be cool.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. It was with that ground. Oh, I live alone, and I lit one candle and played Christopher Lee's reading The Raven the other night. That was cool. You can.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be
Yeah, that's why you have to turn out the light and only use a candle or fire.
Yeah, do you imagine? You ever been in a town that doesn't have a lot of lights? It's like just
Mm.
really dark everywhere,
Yeah.
right? And there's
Yeah.
towns in the U.S. still like that. And the town I live in right now is pretty small, and you just drive up the road, it's pitch black because there's nothing. So
Yep.
yeah, and there's all kinds of stuff out there, not headless.
Yeah. Mountain lions, snakes, scorpions.
Jacob knows he's in Texas. It's just
Yeah,
wild.
coyotes. Actually, coyotes are a big deal because
Yeah.
little kittens become coyote snacks. That's why mine have to stay inside.
Okay, I'm just going to read this last little bit. There's not much left.
Yeah, sure, no
Then
problem.
We can talk a little bit. If I can read fast enough. They had now reached the road which turns off to Sleepy Hollow, but Gunpowder, who seemed possessed with a demon instead of keeping up, it made an opposite turn and plunged headlong down the hill into the left. This road leads through the sandy hollow, shaded by trees for about a quarter of a mile, where it crosses the bridge famous in Goblin story. And just beyond swells the green knoll on which stands the whitewashed church. As yet, the panic of the steed had given his unskillful rider an apparent advantage in the chase. But just as he had got halfway through the hollow, scroll down. The girths of the saddle gave way, and he felt it slipping from under him. He seized it by the pommel and endeavored to hold it firm, but in vain, and had just time to save himself by clasping old Gunpowder around the neck, when the saddle fell to the earth, and he heard it trampled underfoot by the pursuer. For a moment, the terror of Hans van Ripper's wrath passed across his mind, for it was the Sunday saddle, but this was no time for petty fears. The goblin was hard on his haunches, and an unskillful rider that he was, he had much ado to maintain his seat, sometimes slipping on one side, sometimes on the other, and sometimes jolted on the high ridge of his horse's backbone, with a violence that he verily feared would cleave him asunder. As an opening in the trees now cheered him with the hopes that the church bridge was at hand, the wavering reflection of the silver star in the bosom of the brook told him that he was not mistaken. He saw the walls of the church dimly glaring under the trees beyond. He recollected the place where Brom Bones' ghostly competitor had disappeared. If I can but reach the bridge, thought Ichabod, I am safe. Just then he heard the black steed panting and blowing close behind him. He even fancied that he felt his hot breath. Another convulsive kick in the ribs, and old Gunpowder sprang upon the bridge. He thundered over the resounding planks. He gained the opposite side, and now Ichabod cast a look behind to see if his pursuer should vanish, according to rule, in a flash of fire and brimstone. Just then he saw the goblin raising in his stirrups, and in a very act of hurling his head at him, Ichabod endeavored to dodge the horrible missile, but too late. It encountered his cranium with a tremendous crash. he was tumbled headlong into the dust, and gunpowder, the black steed, and the goblin rider passed by like a whirlwind.
Whoa.
Can we please bow down before the perfect aim of the headless horseman right into the cranium?
Right in the
Yeah.
cranium.
Dang, that's good.
And then all they found was
What
a
is
saddle, right? And the horse was gone too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oof.
Oof. Yeah, and not a pumpkin, but his own head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Or was it?
Or was it? Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, it's ambiguous. Well,
Who knows?
It does kind of leave it up to, the reader what happened. Like it could have been the Braun character dressed up, or it could have been a ghost.
Or a demon.
Yeah.
Or a
but
goblin.
it did its purposes. If it was Brom, it worked because he chased Ichabod away. Then he got the girl.
Yeah.
He bullied him.
Yeah.
And remember, it's always over a girl.
Always.
Yep.
Dead or alive.
Yep. They cause all the problems. Whenever I watch those crime shows, and they're always like, dang, what's going on? And then they found out there was a girl. It's like, oh, okay, they're fighting over a girl. Well, women fight over men, but you see, we get really weird and catty. We don't like. Well, actually, let me take that back. If this really was Brom, that is a very elaborate way to get revenge or to get rid of their rival instead of just punching him out.
Yeah, maybe they were in on it. Maybe the girl and the guy were in on it.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, Ichabod, first one to see the monster from Jeepers Creepers.
Jay said, or it was Ichabod's own nervous fear.
Maybe.
He just fell off the horse and
Mm-hmm.
killed himself.
Here we go. Or, it really was a very good hoax. I mean, if you had got hit by a pumpkin in the cranium, that would cause a serious head
hurt.
injury.
Whiplash? Some whiplash?
Don't try it at home, folks.
No, do not.
No. Now somebody's going to try it on YouTube.
No, no one's going to try anything.
Yes. We disavow any connection or any possible future unfortunate incident.
That's our disclaimer. No one should try throwing a pumpkin at their brother.
No.
Definitely not their cranium.
No.
Mm-mm. Well, fantastic writer, fantastic story.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So
this has been fun.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a fun one.
Yeah, I might have to go check these out and see if I can find them somewhere.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that too.
Yeah.
Maybe
a lot of them are on Audible, on the free Audible, but also on YouTube. They have a lot of people that have read stuff aloud.
Yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few. Like us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I may even try to find a hardback that has all of them in it.
There's probably something out there.
Oh yeah. Get a nice leather bound.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to find one actually today because this got me inspired. I'm like, I'm gonna see if I can find it, but it was at a different location at that.
Yeah, like I said, the one I have just has the two major ones.
Yeah.
So
what the Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle?
Yeah.
I can make it big.
You're good.
Okay.
I mean, there you go. But the TV show though combines two stories because, like I said, he falls asleep. Ichabod supposedly gets hit by the pumpkin, and he falls asleep, and then he wakes up in 2006.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't at the end of the story in his version.
And he teams up with a detective.
Wasn't his girlfriend like a witch or something?
And they solve I guess Monster of the Week crimes in Sleepy Hollow. Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
It was an okay show. Didn't last very long. No. Anyways. I mean, Craig, it's cool that it's such a good story that you can make these different side things. So.
Yeah. They did that with Van Helsing too. There was like a series, but it was like an ancestor of Van Helsing.
Oh wow, yeah. Was that one any good? I don't.
I didn't watch it. I just
don't know.
It
wasn't
seemed
me.
a
It
little
was the
girl-powered.
one-armed headless horseman.
Darn right. Everyone should use that as an excuse.
I don't know if Zach's asking. It was an okay show. Sleepy Hollow was an okay show. It wasn't the greatest show. Like the first season was okay. But I do recommend, if you can find it, is the Jeff Goldblum Sleepy Hollow in 1980. It was made for TV, and that's what's actually really good.
Yeah, I will pop that in the.
You can probably find it on
link
YouTube
for that. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or like Tubi.
Yeah. I remember watching it on TV back in the day.
Yeah.
No Fugitive fans. No, I'm not a big fan of Fugitives.
There's the IMDb link for the Jeff Goldblum Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, it doesn't end the same, but it's close. It's pretty good. I like it.
Oh gosh, sorry, Adam Gray. It just hit me what you were referring to. Hey, I love the original Fugitive, and I mostly like the movie. So, got it.
Yeah, the police would probably really not believe him if he said it was a headless, armless horseman.
Yeah.
Maybe. Nowadays, they have to believe you.
Oh, that's true. Especially if you're a woman.
There was a fun book that was like a kid's book. When I was a kid, it was this guy wakes up and he can't find his head, and he like tries different things. He tries to carve a carrot, but it doesn't look right, and he tries different things. But then he like meets a scarecrow, and the scarecrow punches him, and he wakes up, and his head's back. It was kind of a fun little book.
All right, weird.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds kind of scary.
Yeah,
that's like right up there with the choker.
Oh gosh.
yeah.
Maybe she'll look better with a carrot.
Oh no.
Oh no.
The German student.
Yeah.
I don't think. Anyways, this has been fun, man. I'm glad you suggested this story and these stories. When you said ghost stories, I was like, oh, cool. We'll just talk about some random ghost stories. But you brought in a good tale of American history, so right on. So
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all were both able to come on. It was good. Good time.
Yeah.
You got anything to plug, JT?
Well, yeah. So within like 15 minutes here, or 20 minutes, I will. They'll probably start without me, but I will be over there after the weekend. Our Weekend Harder stream with R2, and so just pop culture talk. And then I'm taking a break next week on Late Night with Cap because I did 3 awesome shows in a row this month of October with a panel of guests about ghost stories, werewolves, and Texas cryptids. So it was fun to do that. So but I'm taking a break next week. So yeah, but that's pretty much it right there. So you can check me out Late Night with Cap or After the Weekend. So I don't know if it's in the description or not, but you can find me at those 2 places.
Cool.
Well, there you go.
Teresa?
Oh, well, find me here on Miss Smart Muses here on YouTube. We're talking about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. This week, I don't know if I'm having a pub crawl. I got Halloween, All Saints, All Souls. It's going to be a busy week as well as other situations. So I may or may not be having a guest this week, but I will for sure be having the following week. I've got Dead Man Walking coming up. Dad Man Walking, sorry, not a dead man walking, Dad Man Walking at Zach's, and a few others that I am not yet going to reveal. So if you like pub crawl in the show, both JT and Jacob have been guests previously. Yeah. So go ahead and give me a subscribe, please, because lots of fun stuff. I'm probably going to have a Halloweenish thing happen. I just don't know when, where, how, or why. But and I usually do it We the People Wednesday when I can, as well as my general musings. You can also find me over at Sporking's channel for the Song of Ice and Fire, and at Nina Infinities.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Halloween night, I will be doing the 1931 Dracula.
Ooh.
It'll be
Awesome.
fun. Got Vex Electronica, the Gourd King, Beard of Liberty, Shield Wall of Dragons, and Matt, the Unattainable.
Okay.
So that
Nice.
should be a good time.
Really nice
And-
chill stream, guys. Perfect for
Yeah.
my editing shift. Yeah, no problem.
Aw.
Cool. Glad
Thank
you could chill with us.
We're probably the 3 most chilled people on YouTube.
Probably.
Well, part of me's thinking, speak for yourself. I can be a little bit ragey when I want to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks to the chat for hanging with us and
Yeah.
having some chill time. And I'll see y'all Tuesday and next week.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye everybody. Have a good one.